Hey, what is up guys? Guitar here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of a different video, and it's just more to respond to those of you guys who have been constantly asking me, hey Guitar, hey, should I pick Seto or Beliath? Should I pick Seto or Beliath? Seto or Beliath? Who do you think is better? Seto or Beliath? I get it, alright? We are all hyped for the upcoming Octo companions. Alright, all of us, everyone and their mom knows, by now, we will be getting to choose either a Seto or a Beliath +9. But godforsaken, man, you have to keep asking me the same question every single time. And I'm not sure how to respond, man. I just don't know how to respond, because each time everyone asks me this question, I will say, I'm gonna wait for the skills. I will wait for the skills. I will wait for the skills. And yet, the question comes in again and again and again and again and again and again. Alright, so I guess we're gonna do a little bit of a different approach. So it's more of the plan as opposed to who to recruit. And obviously, so when I upload this video, when I publish this video, and at the time of me recording this video, the skills of the Octos are not out yet. Alright, so I still have no idea how good Seto will be, Beliath, Lucius, what's the other person again? Livia. Alright, they are all gonna get their companions, but I still have not yet looked at their skills. Don't know how the skills will be like. But here's the thing, right? We can always gauge how we want to spend our ancient coins, alright, and our resources based on the current meta right now. Okay, so whether you like it or not, some of you might hate me for saying this, Refitia is the best 6 devils out there, alright? Some of you might disagree, it's fine, you can have your own opinion, but I do think that Refitia is the best 6 devils comparatively compared to all the other 5, of course, and she is probably the most worth to invest in. Now this is going to vary from players to players. Obviously, each of us have their own favorite units and stuff like that. And some players prefer Alex, some players will say Celia is the best. It's okay, right? Pick your favorite waifu and stuff. But at the end of the day, Refitia as a supporter, she has never gone down the meta. Alright, if you constantly look at Refi, okay, so when before she was released, before Refitia was ever +15, the only two meta, I would say like meta supporters was Stella and Michaela. Alright, obviously there are a few more other supporters that occasionally are being used. Alright, so till today, I would say Stella and Michaela, I would say they are still usable. Irremovable buffs, etc. Those are extremely good, right? So Beliath, on the other hand, has always managed to stand toe-to-toe with some of the second and third place of rankings in terms of supporters. Obviously, she's not anywhere near as good as a Refi would be. Obviously, that might change once the Octo companion come, right? Okay, so let's go to Arena. I'm just going to show you the hot merc currently being used in my server. Alright, if you look at supporters, right? Refitia is currently at 91.4% usage rate. So this is usage rate. This doesn't mean that people who use Refitia wins 91% of the time. Alright, it's just how many players use this particular supporter. So you can tell a lot of players use Refitia. Alright, and she has always been one of the better ones to invest in if you are going to choose a unit from the Jumpstart quest. Alright, so I just want you guys to relate to what we might have later on when Seto and Beliath comes. So my plan has always been to recruit the more expensive one, alright, whichever that will require more skill level to be used efficiently. So a lot of players went for Nartus. Alright, Nartus is still good, don't get me wrong, still pretty solid, like currently still in top place in terms of the one being used most often. Alright, Nartus is like 69. Pog, my favorite number, 69% usage rate. Alright, congrats to everyone out there who uses Nartus. Thanks for making this a 69%. Alright, 69, Nartus as my favorite number. So definitely still one of the best units to invest in. But here's the thing, right? when it comes to picking units from the Jumpstart quest. If a new player come and ask me, hey, I'm deciding between Refitia and Natus, I'm going to say 90% of the time I'm going to say pick Refitia, and it's not because that Refitia is better. I mean, of course she's better, right? Why else would she not be? But it's not really because of that. It's more of the investment wise to get Refi to work at an optimum skill level. Now, Refitia needs plus 12. You cannot argue about, oh, Refitia plus 15 is stronger and better. Yes, obviously, the higher the skill level goes, but plus 12 is a good stopping point, and for most cases, for legendaries, most of them actually needs plus 12. But Natus, on the other hand, he is actually usable at plus 3. In fact, I've known players who have Natus at plus 1 in the Grandmaster rank. I've seen before, like Natus plus 1. Shout out to Panda SQ. Panda SQ, if you're watching this, comment below. Natus plus 3, Natus plus 6. So if you look at Natus, what does he actually get at plus 3, at plus 6? So Natus at plus 3, he gets this insane bonus range, alright? In most cases, yes, he's gonna have the 150% attack, but in most cases, he will be able to deal with almost every single tank out there if you buff him correctly. Obviously, he struggles with Grand, he struggles with Albion buff units, but that's besides the point. Most of the time, a plus 3 is gonna be more than enough. And if you have Natus at plus 6, he does have this permanent taunt ignore as opposed to just 24 turns. I would say it's a good jumping point. Now, plus 12, obviously, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get this casting state radiating, so basically he will be able to charge up, and from round 2 onwards he doesn't need to charge up anymore as a mage, so he can just constantly attack like a warrior. Alright, which is good. But here's the thing, comparing Natus to Refitia, Natus needs it less than Refitia. Refitia needs the plus 12 more compared to Natus. That plus 12 range is just insane. Alright, as a supporter, you can place your units everywhere in the battlefield, and it's hard for you to even fail, and it just gives you the additional gap to actually fail if you have units dying. So what do I mean by that? If you go right here, kablam, let's say I have Refitia buffing Michaela. Alright, Refitia buffing Michaela. If Michaela dies, let's say Michaela dies, boom, now Refitia will be buffing Natus. And then if Natus die, Refitia will be buffing Livia. Alright, for example. Now, this is insane because look at this range. Like, even when units start dying, there's a lot of other units that will still receive the buff in her buff range, right? So, she does have that advantage as a supporter. Now, most supporters, that particular warrior, they are being buffed by that supporter, and if that warrior dies, the changes goes like messed up. But Refitia, with that range, you have the advantage. Now, that's a good advantage. Now, again, we can all argue about whether Refitia is better or not, but at the end of the day, if a new player comes up to me, I'm going to say, hey, if you want Natus, you can build him later because Natus is cheaper and he doesn't really need plus 12 to do what he does. Alright, it's going to be a good extra bonus for sure, having a plus 12, but Refitia is the one that you should be picking up from the Jumpstart quest, and you should be picking Natus later on with your ancient coins. Alright, like that's a good way to spend your resources, because if you pick Natus first and you try to build Refitia later, trust me, alright, I've seen players done this. They pick Natus at plus 9, they make Natus plus 12, and they try to build Refitia. Refitia plus 0 to plus 11, like it's just a suffering to go through that stage, right? You could have just picked Refitia plus 9, make her plus 12, get 3 companions, or you can get 2 companions and 1 soul gear, whichever you prefer, as opposed to going Natus route. So Natus, at least Natus, even plus 0, he's still decent, alright? If you get him to plus 3, alright, slowly, plus 3, he can still be used. And plus 6, you get the Ignore Taunt. And I feel like the impact from not having Refi plus 12 is going to be bigger compared to something like not having Natus at plus 12. Now, bringing this entire concept that we know today to the selection that we are going to expect next week. Alright, so right now, obviously, I don't know what the Octo skills will be like, but based on what we are seeing right now, I'm going to pick a Seto plus 9 over a Beliath. Alright, here is why. Same concept applies. Beliath, if they do have the same skills right now as the current Octo skills that we know them, Beliath doesn't need much investment. Alright, she is a pretty solid, actually a very solid legendary at plus 3. If you look at this tile range, this is what you need most of the time to form the skeletons. Yes, if you go +5, she gives more buffs. If you go +10, the skeletons will actually be able to reflect more damage. But here's the thing, +3 is a good stopping point because most of the time, those meta warriors that we are facing today like Adin, Dalvi, etc., most of them will already die to skeletons at +3. You don't really need a +10. Alright, so the same concept applies. Now, if I were to decide today, of course, still not knowing the skills, I'm going to pick Seto because Seto right now, he actually needs the skill level more than Beliath. So that is going to make much more sense in terms of trying to max my resources. Let me find Seto right here. Oh, he's not even right here. Okay, so Seto at +3, he does unlock this skill, but this edgy boost doesn't really give much. Seto has really weak stats. Alright, 600 attack is really low for base stats. Go up to 920 at level 90. So obviously, you actually want him at very high skill level, preferably +9 or +10. Now, it will make sense for you to pick the more expensive unit, like the harder to build unit from the selection ticket, and the easier one for you to just build from the scratch. Alright, so in that particular case, if I have the option, if I were to gauge based on their skills today, alright, based on Seto and Beliath's current skills before the rework, I would say Seto is a much better pick compared to Beliath. Alright, Beliath only needs +3, so I don't really need to pick the +9 version. And of course, I can just build her with my ancient coins. Alright, I can recruit her, slowly skill her up with legend books and stuff. Now, obviously, there's also Livia and Lucius to take into consideration. Alright, so obviously, I do have both Lucius and Livia. Livia is at +10, Lucius is currently +0. So most likely, I'm not going to be building Lucius. Like, it's going to take a lot of resources. But I think this is a good angle to look at, especially for those of you guys who, if you don't have Lucius and Livia, and you're thinking, Seto and Beliath, is it possible for you to build both? It might be possible if you follow this strategy accordingly. Because if you were to pick the more expensive one, and you build from the scratch the least expensive one, so you will be able to min-max your account. Alright, just like how you can actually pick Refitia from the Jumpstart quest, get her up to +12, and then slowly work on Natus. Alright, I think that concept can and should be able to be carried over right there. Now granted, I'm going to say it again, still don't know the skills. I hope Beliath's skills remain the same because I think she's in a pretty strong spot right now. But Seto might need some rework so that he can actually get some skill level advantage for sure at lower skill level. But I would say if they follow the pattern most of the time, +12 is going to be where they actually get like a huge jump in some of their skills. So we're going to have a look at that. But yeah, this is actually my plan from the beginning, alright? Which is why I recommend players not to pull at all. I do think it's much better to try to approach the Octos this way. Now granted, I know not every player have the opportunity to stack up the diamonds, and it's quite hard, and I know it's very tempting because there's Ventana, there is Yuri, there's so many units, Floria on the horizon, and it's just crazy, right? But it's all about making the right call. Sometimes you just have to hold off your temptation for getting new units for a while. Now, I know when I say this, some players probably going to comment below, oh, it's easy for you to say this, you already have all the good units, blah blah blah, etc, etc. But listen man, I just want you guys to enjoy Brave 9 as much as I do. Not everyone is going to listen to me, and I get it, right? Some of us have our own opinion, I respect that. Now, if you want to still pull for Ventana because you think she's waifu or whatever, go ahead. But I do think that the right approach right now, currently, is just to wait for the skills and just save as much as you can for the Octos, hold off your resources and temptation to pull any of the current new units in April. Even if I can help one person to make the right decision, I'm happy. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think, alright? The comment section are always open. I'm more than willing to hear from you guys as well. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.